Hello there, Jan Copeland. How are you? On this beautiful Wednesday where I am, it's absolutely beautiful, and I hope it is where you are too. And I'm Jan Copeland, your hostess in this She's an Unstoppable Agent. I have this new chair that actually caused me trouble. Um, anyway, it's a long story. Suffice it to say that I was out of commission a little bit this week because I hit my head on this hard credenza. Not a pretty picture, but I'm glad that I'm back and I'm ready to go. All right, so ladies, some of you are asking me, well, I want to tell you a few things, announcements, and then I'm going to get to today's training. Today's training is going to, it may cause tears. Let's just put it that way. Because we need to understand that we are our own worst enemy. And I don't say that to shame anyone. It's exciting. And so by the time you leave here, if you stay for the whole thing, you're going to feel fantastic. I can guarantee you that. All right, so I want to make a few announcements. Number one, I am adding a new guide into this awesome group, and it's going to be called Case Studies. Because okay, so I have 3 ways to work with me. Okay, hey Sam, thank you so much. This is my Fred Flintstone, Wilma Flintstone necklace. I love it. So there's 3 ways to work with me. There's one-on-one clients, and then there is a group program, which is the Unstoppable Income and Impact Program, which we're going to be doing a challenge here in the next week or 2. And then I am launching on Friday. Today's Wednesday. I'm launching on Friday an exclusive mastermind 6-month intensive for agents who make over $150,000 a year, so that we can scale to $500,000 a year, $1 million a year. I have a couple of agents who are clients, who are one-on-one clients that make over $1 million a year. And, it's interesting. You might think, oh my gosh, if they're making that much money, they don't need coaching. Well, or they don't have the same issues that I have. True, they might not have 100% the same issue or the same negative thoughts or things that make them feel stuck perhaps. But believe me, they have things that they need to enact to avoid burnout, because doing that many deals causes burnout. They need to know how to grow their income, net income, versus just worrying about revenue, right? Because sometimes their expenses are too high. They need to perhaps understand how to start or grow a team and how to stop hoarding control, because these are mostly type A personalities. So I'm excited. Those are the 3 ways to work with me. And on Friday, I'm going to make the announcement with more details on that 6-month intensive for those people who make over $150,000 a year. All right. So I told you about the case study. So what I was going to say about the new guide, ladies, is that part of the reason I made this group is because I understand how we all kind of share some of the same hang-ups, thoughts, goals, right? The good stuff and the bad stuff. And so I want to share with you some case studies on women just like you who are killing it to inspire you. Hey, Steph, thanks so much for joining me. All right, so it says there's 10 people here, but I only see Samantha and Stephanie saying hello. So if you're here, let's start off. Whether you're in the replay or here, just say, not fix myself. Not fix myself. Just say it, just right. Not fix myself. Because guess what? Some people think coaching is fixing myself. No, coaching is not fixing yourself. In fact, coaching, hey Donna, coaching is all about loving yourself and trusting yourself so that you can take the action needed to become the person that you want to become. Because when I coach with someone, whether here in this group right now in this training, or one-on-one, or in my program, or in the new 6-month intensive, it is always about bettering yourself. It's always about trusting yourself, not fearing failure, because that's the path to moving forward. And everything we do permeates all of our relationships. And that's what we're going to talk about today. It is to know yourself like yourself, and love yourself deeper. So let's get in. Hey, Kathy, thank you so much for joining me. So, when you say the word overwhelmed, if you ever say or think, I'm overwhelmed more than once a week, just write me in the comments. I want to see how many of you. Whoops. Yes, not fixing myself, Deanna. Hey, Grace. Thank you, Deanna. Carolyn, hi. Okay. So if you think or say, I'm overwhelmed more than once a week, that's a problem. And I want to let you know that it's laced, it's an emotion. Overwhelm is an emotion laced in fear. Okay? So when I was a kid, Oprah Winfrey was popular, and she would say, we act either out of love or out of fear. So as I bring these weekly messages and as I pour into my clients, it's always out of love. And that's why I'm successful. If you're a successful realtor, you do more giving to your clients and those in your around you out of love than out of fear. Because fear always loses, love always wins. Period. Okay. But I want to tell you right now, if you're focused on fixing yourself, you're focused on the wrong thing. And so focusing on, on the how also is the wrong thing, right? Because when you focus on how am I going to get to my next goal, how, you're doubting yourself, you're not trusting yourself, and you're not liking yourself, you're not loving yourself because of all these questions. How? But if you want more success in your business and if you want more joy in your life, focus on the who. Who are you becoming? Who are you wanting to become? Do you even know who you want to become? Do you even know the aspects of yourself that you don't like? Because there are aspects of me that I don't like, but there are fewer today than there were 10 years ago. And there were fewer 10 years ago than there were 20 years ago. And that's what we call progress. It's called life. Okay? So who you are when you show up in your community as a realtor, as a woman, as a mom, as a wife. How about who you are as you show up on social media? Hey, Jeanette. Becoming that joy-filled agent that oozes with energy, like, oh my gosh, do I love what I do? Like, I love what I do. It all comes from liking yourself and giving yourself grace with the knowledge, the fact that you know that failure, any failure, happens on your path to bigger success and on your path to becoming like the woman that you want to be. I was raised in an extremely tumultuous, household, lots of fighting. And, I used to see the negative because that is what I was around. That was my community. That was my household, right? And so, I had to realize that if I wanted joy, I had to proactively seek joy. Because we know that whatever we think on, whatever we focus on grows. So we have a choice to make in our thoughts. What we allow ourselves to think, what we allow ourselves to feel. Do we want more negativity? Do we want more joy? So I'm going to talk to you about that. So if you're beating yourself up for something that you either did yesterday, a year ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago, or something you didn't do. Sometimes we have anger with ourselves with something we didn't do. We are mad. Why didn't I do that? Okay? We're pissed at ourselves. Then you're not going to be the best that you could be. You're going to have low energy that is actually repelling people away. Who knows someone negative who you want to avoid, right? They repel you. And so you can pretend and you'll get a certain you know, you'll get to a certain place with enough grinding. But I want you to live a joy-filled life. I want you to live, not just be alive. I heard that on a song on Sirius XM, and I was like, wow, you want to live. You don't just want to be alive. And the reason I became a coach is because I want you to be joy-filled. I want you to have fun. I want to tell you a story. At 11:40, 20 minutes before I came live, I hadn't had a shower yet because I was enjoying my grandbabies. And that's why my hair's up, because I'm like, okay, I have time to wash my hair, take a shower, and I'm just going to throw my hair up. But because I chose to insert joy into my life, to spend an hour with my grandkids versus taking a lot of time to get ready. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so what did I say here? Okay, so when you have that low, unattractive energy, then it's showing others that you're not worthy of respect. It's showing others that you're not worthy of respect. Okay, so is that what you want? How are you going to get deals? How are you going to have great relationships? Because we know that the path to real success here is a conversation. So it's relationships. People don't know that's why they're not 100% sold on you, perhaps, but there's just something there. And now you're being taught, and I'm sharing this truth with you so that you can do something about it. I'm going to share with you 9 things that you can do to change your trajectory, to change your energy, to be attractive rather than repelling. Okay? It is actually affecting your daughter, your granddaughter, your neighbor, your mother. Okay? And I focused on women because we're women here. But if you don't demonstrate true joy and true being okay with yourself, and more than that, liking yourself. And I'm going to equate the relationship with yourself to a relationship with a spouse in a moment, because there were a lot of things in there that I think we as women are missing. So I want you to really pay attention. When we beat ourselves up after a failure, after a perceived failure, okay, what we need to do is we need to look for the good, because in anything, there's usually some good, and then look for the bad and that which I can do something about, that which I can change. And we get better and better in every aspect of our life through action, okay? So it's not like I can sit here and look out the window and watch someone ride a bike up and down the street and I can learn from that, because absolutely not. Right? You have to practice and you have to fall a few times before you're good and you can ride a bike. That is the same as what I'm talking about, what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Because we've been conditioned as a society to people please and all kinds of things. So I'm going to tell you the definition of overwhelm is helpless with exhaustion. Wow. So if you are one that say or think, gosh, I'm overwhelmed more than once a week, you're essentially saying, I'm helpless and I'm exhausted. And the word helpless connotes a victim. Do you know anybody that wants to hire a victim? I don't. I don't want to hire a realtor who's a victim. I also don't want to hire a coach who's a victim. I don't want to hire anybody who's a victim, right? But are you really a helpless victim? I don't think you are. No continuing to allow yourself to think of overwhelm, because overwhelm is torturing yourself on purpose. You're choosing to say and think, I'm overwhelmed. What if it would be better to say, I'm learning how to prioritize. I'm learning how to prioritize, because you get to decide what you think. What's in the way of thinking other thoughts is your self-loathing. And I know that might sound hard and harsh, but it is so true. And I know what I'm talking about. It's a choice that you're allowing yourself to think. Would you tell your child they're helpless? Honey, you're helpless. Absolutely not. Would you tell your mom, hey mom, you are hopeless? I hope not. Would you tell your friend that? You're hopeless. Why are you telling yourself that? Because when you say I'm overwhelmed, you're telling yourself you're hopeless. And you're exhausted, by the way. Stop. The opposite of overwhelm, listen to these words. Listen to these words. The opposite of overwhelm is untroubled. Oh, I'm untroubled. Ooh, that's a good thought. I am unfazed. I have a lot on my list, but I'm going to have joy as I do it. I'm going to be unfazed. How about unagitated, unflustered? How about in control? I have a lot to do, but I'm in control. You can decide to think that. You can decide to say that. If your broker says, how are things going? I have a lot going on, a little nervous, but I got it. I'm going to figure it out, or I am figuring it out. How empowering is that? It's a lifting, right? It's an empowering, encouraging energy that others are attracted to because they want it. And look, I'm just going to give you a kind of a stupid example, but yet I hope it makes the point. In Virginia, the governor lifted the mask mandate May 25th, something like that. And so my husband and I like to go to Home Goods for recreation. If anybody else does too, you can write Home Goods in there, but in the comments, I'd love to see who my Home Goods sisters are. But we walked in maskless there. We went to Hobby Lobby, Home Depot, and Target. Okay. And it was so freeing to be in there, maskless. And unfeared, like no fear, right? Felt so good. And as we walked through each of those stores, some people saw us unmasked and they took their mask off. And it was so cool because I'm like, honey, did you see they had a mask on and they took it off when they saw us? Honey, look, they took off their mask. And they smile at you. And it is so amazing when you act in confidence, as we did when we walked in these stores without masks, how they become free to take off their mask, right? So as you think positive and more empowering thoughts, and thereby in that thought, change your feeling and get in action, you are allowing those around you, your daughter, your cousin, your best friend, your mother, if you're a team leader, those on your team, to also get rid of the self-inflicted burden of overwhelm and helplessness. Do you hear me? Do you want that? Of course. I believe if we all would step forward in confidence and like ourselves more, and I'm going to get into that now, that we wouldn't be having such a horrible everybody against each other seemingly in this world, right? Let's just be empowered. Let's like ourselves. Let's accept ourselves. Okay. All right. So in addition to overwhelm, there's one more aspect that I want to make sure if this is you. Are you a control hoarder? Are you a control hoarder? Do you hoard control? Can't trust anybody to do it better than me. And let me see who my Home Goods buddies are. Kim, Sam, Debbie, and Erin. Okay, awesome, awesome. Erin, let's take a trip to Home Goods. She lives near me. All right. When you are a control hoarder, you're doing too much. And so and Kathy, all right, you are creating the overwhelm. Did you ever think of that? And think about a hoarder. What does a hoarder do? Well, they can't walk through their homes if they're a really bad hoarder. And why do they hoard? If you've ever watched that show on I think Discovery Channel or TLC, I'm not sure which, I'm fascinated by the mind, if you can't tell. So I know that the mind can take us up, and boy, can it take us down. And so when you think about the hoarder of physical things, and you watch that show, and psychiatrists and psychologists are saying, there's a pain deep down. There's a pain deep down. There's a self-loathing. There's a self not loving and self not liking and not trusting yourself to be able to make a decision. Shall I throw this away? Shall I donate it to someone who actually could use it? Or should I pile it up so that I can walk on it to get to the next room, right? And most of us aren't physical hoarders in our houses, but yet the reason that we are hoarding control over our businesses is the same reason. It's out of fear. Okay? Fear of nobody can do it as good as me, or fear that I don't have that money. I mean, I'm making good money now, but that could stop at any moment. Not trusting yourself. Do you see that, ladies? If you see that, say, I've got to trust myself. Please put it in the comments. I've got to trust myself. Okay. So when you think fixing myself, which some people actually say, I need to hire you so I can fix myself. I'm like, whoa, whoa. You look, we're all on a path to get better, but nobody needs to be fixed, because that is heavy. That is yucky, and that is ugh. Like that is yuck. It's a daunting, heavy task to fix yourself, to fix anything, right? I mean, I can't fix anything. What makes you think that something's wrong with you? Because you think you're the only one? It's exactly what you don't want. So, I don't have time to cover everything, of course, in learning to like yourself, learning to just be and stop resisting. Look, I don't like sports. I hate sports analogies. I try not to use them at any cost. I'm not very good socially talking about, history. I know nothing about history. I'm bad with geography, But I don't have to, I just choose to be okay and not resist those things. So what are you beating yourself up? And I don't like the song Brown Eyed Girl because I had green eyes, right? And when I was growing up, and even when I was in corporate, we'd go to, I was a top performer, and we'd always go to, Hawaii and different neat, awesome places. And every time we'd be on the beach singing Brown Eyed Girl. And I'm like, I don't have brown eyes. But then one night, I was like, I don't care if I don't have brown eyes. I'm going to sit here and enjoy my champagne and watch them have fun. It's just not my chosen song, right? I mean, that's kind of stupid, but that's what I'm saying. Just to stop resisting. Okay. So, again, I'm convinced that anything negative in your life, any relationship that's negative, stems from you not liking yourself enough and not trusting yourself because you don't like yourself enough. Okay? So this leads to people pleasing. If you're a people pleaser, write people pleaser in the comments. People pleaser. Again, people pleasing stems from a fear of rejection, a fear to fit in. I want to fit in. A fear of avoiding conflict. Many times, ladies, and I don't have time for that today, but we think something is, maybe even a discussion is a confrontation, and we avoid it. But in actuality, that's resisting. Where if you could just talk about it or be honest about it, it's not a confrontation. So we have some thought errors that can be bettered and fixed by liking yourself and committing to that. Trusting yourself. All this increases your confidence and it increases your self-esteem. Your self-worth comes from external validation when you're a people pleaser instead of validating yourself. Listen to this. If you liked yourself, you wouldn't have to be a people pleaser getting external validation. And I say that with love in my heart. I'm okay saying no, guilt-free. Are you? Only because, maybe because I'm 55 and I could die at any moment. Not that I think I am. I hope I live to be 80 or so, but I'm just saying. When we don't get validation from ourselves, we will get it and seek it from other places, externally. So we judge ourselves harshly because of comparing. Do you see how all this fits together? I can guarantee you'll make more money and live a more joy-filled life to the extent that you can focus on 9 ways to like or love yourself that I'm going to go over right now. All right. All right. People-pleasing addict, yes. So I want you to admit that you don't like yourself enough. You don't love yourself enough. The relationship that you have with yourself is more important than the relationship you have with anyone else. The relationship you have with yourself is more important than the relationship you have with your spouse, your daughter, your son, your cousin, your best friend. So, 9 things that you can do. Number 1, give yourself the gift of grace. Give yourself the gift of grace. What is grace? Well, if you're a Christian, you understand that Christ died on the cross for your sins out of grace. And so, grace is almost like a forgiveness, understanding that it's a sin, that it's a mistake. But if you give yourself the gift of grace, the benefit of the doubt, it's huge. Giving yourself that gift of grace, lowering your unrealistic expectations. Because if you have suffer from perfectionism, people-pleasing, perfectionism, these are all stemming from the same thing. So maybe at the beginning, that's why I chose to do that in the beginning. We're in my new 6-month intensive for women who make more than $150,000 a year who want to scale and stop burning out or fear they're burning out, right? And plus, I'm going to do some really good done-for-you stuff in there. But you might have thought they don't even suffer from any of this. Well, because they're grinders. So you can do it the hard way and grind it out, or you can do it this way and trust yourself. And you can only do that by loving yourself and liking yourself. So giving yourself grace and lowering those unrealistic expectations. Next, giving yourself the gift of forgiveness, which means no regret. No regretting that which you did do. No regretting that which you didn't do. Right? All right. Thirdly, so give yourself the gift of forgiveness, which is no regret. Give yourself the gift of boundaries. Oh my gosh, saying no guilt-free. Wow. Right? Give yourself the gift of boundaries. And, you know, when you're my client, we talk about boundaries and standards a lot. And it's scary to put up those boundaries. I'm not going to show a house until I have a proof of funds or a pre-approval letter. Whoa, Jan, yo, hold up. I might lose business. No, you might actually gain business. But it's the gift of boundaries. Saying no guilt-free is huge. How about number 4 is praying and believing that this is possible, that this relationship. Praying to God and believing that it is possible, and it's actually more than possible. It's probable that you can like yourself and you can give yourself these gifts, that you can trust yourself. But guess what? You can't just hear it and agree with it in theory without putting it into practice. If you don't practice this, then it's going to be like trying to ride a bike without, just watching it, right? Without trying it. Give yourself the gift of time alone. Give yourself the gift of time alone. Oh my gosh, give yourself the gift of time alone. Doing whatever you want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, or you don't even know what you like to do anymore, that's okay. Not resisting it. Saying like, well, I don't know what I like to do anymore, but I guess I'll just sit here on the deck and have some iced tea or soda, tall glass of water, lemonade, and pray and say, God, show me what I'm supposed to, I don't even know who I am anymore. Which is, I would say, 80% of my clients. Making $20,000 a year, $200,000 a year, or over $1 million a year. We lost ourselves because we didn't trust ourselves. And so we're doing all these things for everybody else, and we're like, yo, what am I doing, right? Actually, it's not nine things on how to love yourself. It was just those 5. it's the next thing I'm going to tell you are the 9. So anyway, I actually put page numbers at the top so that I don't, so if these pages fall, that I won't miss something. All right. So this is life, ladies. You get to decide. You get to decide. Let's enjoy it, for goodness sakes, not bring others' thoughts into your relationship with yourself. The relationship with yourself is a sacred relationship. Have you ever heard that? I kind of made it up because I was like, wait, the best gift you can give to your kids is holding your marriage a sacred relationship. And I'll be honest, I didn't give that gift to my kids. Bad. Bad news bears. I didn't get it. I'm just being honest. So we have to stop resisting, feel whatever we feel, don't fight it. We're human. It's okay to feel yucky sometimes. Just go for a walk. Just be alone and be okay with it, right? Because from this sacred relationship you have with yourself will flow out of it your level of attraction or repelling, and it will affect every relationship with your dog, with your kitty, with your kids, with your spouse, okay? So what we're going to talk about is I'm going to share with you what I've learned in marriage counseling that couples should be doing to hold that marriage relationship sacred, and how it correlates to holding your relationship with yourself as sacred, okay? And then we'll end. You don't talk negatively about your spouse. Ooh, that's a good one. You don't even think it. Well, we need to do that with ourselves, do we not? No criticizing. That's a new standard. We talk about boundaries and standards. How about that as a standard? Oh, I'm so stupid. Why did I do that again? Oh, of course it would happen to me. Okay? Of course it's going to happen to you, hubby, jerk. Talking negative. Why do you always do that? Say it to yourself or your husband or your, significant other. So don't talk negatively about yourself. Don't think negatively about yourself. It's a standard. Stop it. When you think it, say, now that's not true. Why am I thinking that? That's not true. Next, don't compare, but create. Instead of comparing, create. So many of, as you make more money, you get more competitive. Many of my clients who are making more than 500,000 will say to me, I can't stop looking at this other agent who they're neck and neck with, right? Like number 1, number 2 in their market kind of thing. And I say, can you please stop comparing and go create? Stop comparing and please go create something. So when you're married, don't look at seemingly happy couples. How many times, and I hope I hope that that never happens, but have you ever had this? You have wives talking about how great their husband is, and then within 6 months they announce they're getting divorced. Like, wait, what? Like, I don't understand. Meaning, just because it looks like they're happy doesn't mean they are. Okay? Same with another agent. Stop comparing and go create. So if you're married, it'd be like, go create your own kind of fun. Stop looking at what other couples are doing. And as an entrepreneur real estate agent, you could say, like I said, stop comparing yourself to someone else and just start creating you. Start creating you. Start loving yourself so that you can feel free and creative to show up as you want to show up. Okay. Next, choose to have fun. Choose to laugh. Choose to have fun and be lighthearted. Right? I chose to, my daughter had something to do and she said, Mom, I can drop off the kids for 1 hour. It's actually 45 minutes. And I had things to do, but I thought, you know what? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to choose to laugh. I'm going to choose to run around outside with the girls. Are you choosing to be lighthearted? Do you choose fun? And I want to just reiterate, yes, you do decide. You get to decide what you think. You can't just say, oh, these thoughts are flying into my head. Unless you have something that maybe you need medication for. But in a moment of feeling like crap, perhaps, and you're having these horrible thoughts of drudgery and not fun, not lighthearted, heaviness, right? Choose to do something that makes you smile. Remember a time when you were joy-filled and just replicate that. Number 4, connect with yourself through journaling. My clients know something called the model, where they can look at a circumstance or they can start with how they're feeling. I'm feeling crappy. What thoughts am I thinking that's making me feel so crappy? And what thought can I decide to think that will make me feel differently, make me act differently, feel differently, give off a better energy to others, right? Connect with yourself. Number 6, unplug from social media. Enough said, right? Unplug regularly from social media. What do you think about that? Is that easy for you to do or hard? How about look back at your past successes and anything that's bad, instead of looking back with regret, look back as an overcomer. Because you're still here. You're an overcomer. So yes, it's okay to look back. To celebrate either something that you did that was great, made you feel good, or that you overcame something. Those of you that were at the retreat know that I'm big on these little diamonds that you can get at the party store. And mine's over there. I can't show it to you, but it's get a clear glass jar or a plastic jar, whatever. And every time you take an action for your business, doesn't matter if it fails or is successful, you drop one of these diamonds in there. Just keep doing it. Then you can look at it and see, I'm taking action. I'm getting things done. I am creating. Okay? And then look forward. Because we don't know if we don't know where we're going, then we'll be blown by the wind all different ways. Let me go. Let me do that. Let me throw it in the wash, because that's got to be. Oh wow! Look at those weeds. I better start pulling the weeds. Right? You don't know who you are. That's part of looking forward. Look forward to who you're becoming. Right? And you get to decide that. You get to decide that in the minute. You get to decide that. So look forward. Decide who you want to become. And what is that person, what does that look like? You would do what? And your demeanor would be what? And you would look like what? So who do you want to become? We're all on a journey. We're never standing still. Please know that. You're either going backwards or forwards. Okay? We are all a work in progress. How about a dream board? Yes. Where, you can get magazines and have fun or go into Canva and create things and get them printed at Staples in color and throw them on your dream board that you can look at. But also, how about having a past success board? Where, your trip to Hawaii was fantastic. Or, the vacation when the kids were, 10 years ago when they were little, you remember that vacation with fondness. That's what we need to be putting around us. Because right now, the mainstream media and such are scaring the hell out of us. And there's been more suicide than ever before. And there's been more divisiveness. When you don't like yourself, it is easy to not like someone else and to be judgy. We judge ourselves. My goodness, if we judge ourselves, how easy is it to judge others? Whereas when the opposite is true and we don't judge ourselves, but we love ourselves, then likewise, it's easier to love others. Wow, how about that? Number 8, be fiercely loyal to yourself. Remember, I'm like, these are things that will also help a marriage as well. If you're loyal to your spouse, wow, how does that feel when your spouse is loyal to you and sticks up for you? Makes you feel like on top of the world. Yet, why don't we give that gift to ourselves? Why aren't we loyal with ourselves? My gosh. Because we have to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. Number 9, do something for you. Do something for you. You know what? I love this shirt. I love this shirt. I love everything about it. Look at the sleeves. I can't show you the sleeves. It's really fun. And I love the old Wilma Flintstone necklace. And I love this little diamond thing here. To me, you know, I love fashion. I was a fashion major in college. And it's like my hobby is surrounding myself with beautiful things, right? Like this is my office. You know, I want to surround myself with beautiful things. That gives me comfort. If you don't know what gives you comfort, then it's okay. Go, you know, and I love tennis and bike riding, but you know, go do things. Give yourself permission to try things and not like sit around and say, I'm the only person in the world that doesn't know what I like. Bull. Because most of my clients have no idea what they like. So the bottom line is the biggest obstacle to your being more successful, making more money, and being more joy-filled and actually living instead of just being alive is you. Is your blatant acceptance of not liking yourself. And I know that might sound harsh, but I'm saying this out of love for you. Joy is available to you. So my encouragement is to listen to this again. I'm going to put it on my YouTube as well. 9 steps to like and love yourself. If you like these, and I'm going to repeat them right now, but if you liked it and you want me to give you, I have a PDF that I'm going to have Grace pretty up. And if you want to like have this, just write in the comments, give me the 9 steps, and we'll get it to you. So, number 1, don't talk negatively about yourself. Number 2, don't compare but create. Number 3, choose to have fun, laugh. Number 4, connect with yourself, journaling, following the model, really, you know, thinking, choosing what to think. Number 5, unplug from social media regularly. Woo-hoo. Number 6, look back at your past successes, and even if you think they're failures, know that you're an overcomer. Number 7, look forward to deciding to who you're becoming, right? Give me the 9 steps. Thank you, Jennifer. I will definitely get that to you. Number 8, be fiercely loyal to yourself. Be fiercely loyal to yourself. Number 9, do something for you. Do something for you. I want to tell you right now, and I want to look in the camera, you are worthy of being liked. You are worthy of being loved. I don't care who abused you. I don't care if you abused yourself. I don't care if your mom never told you that she loved you. You're worthy. You have breath. You're worthy of it. You're worthy of being trusted. You know, top entrepreneurs trust themselves. I want you to trust yourself. You do the thought correction work. You do the thought correction work. We work on that a lot with all my clients. And I promise you, your relationships will be better because of your relationship with yourself getting better. Your business will be better. You will finally truly understand joy. Oh my gosh, I want that for you. Again, I want you to live and not just be alive. So if you want to chat, go to chatwithjan.com. Chatwithjan.com. I want to leave you with this. Suffering is something that we allow. We allow by what we think. So my mother-in-law, her daughter, my sister-in-law, had cancer, stage 4. She survived, but it was pure hell. Watching her go through it was gave me an appreciation for people that go through cancer. And so she's a 12-year, 14-year, I don't know, a long time survivor, okay? And she does have lasting negative effects from all the chemo she got. But, I mean, she's alive and she's able to enjoy seeing her daughter, you know, who's, I guess she's 19. She was like 2 or 3 when she was diagnosed. But so my mother-in-law still focuses on the horribleness of the cancer rather than saying, oh, what a blessing that she was cured of cancer. What a blessing that she got to see her daughter graduate high school, and hopefully she'll get to see her daughter, go on with life and graduate college and get married or whatever she wants to do. I'm going to share with you this too. When I hit my head on this stupid thing, that night I woke up and the room was spinning really bad. I couldn't talk, I couldn't move. It was horrible. And when I was able to get up, I, just like touched my husband. It made me feel better to touch his, like a body, like the warmth. And I laid there and prayed for probably an hour. I don't want to cry, but I was like, God, I never want to feel that again. That was scary shit. That was scary. And yet there are people who have vertigo, Meniere's disease, and like that's like their daily life. They have to go through that. I mean, we have so much to be thankful for. And so I want that for you. So, man, I said, God, and I still feel a little dizzy, but I as long as I don't have the room spins, I mean, that was pure hell. And so I can, it just makes you appreciate, like, oh, I laid there and I said, God, I hope this goes away and I can actually play with my grandkids again. And this isn't something debilitating that I have to deal with every day of my life. Because I didn't know when you're going through it. And so that's what I'm saying to you, ladies. Like, we don't know when our time is up. And so my goal is to have you and all my clients throw some joy in there. Throw some joy in there and prioritize your joy and prioritize your time with yourself and your liking yourself and trusting yourself to take action in your business and in life in general and stop people pleasing. Because if not, you're just alive. You're just alive, and I don't want that for you, right? It's self-destructive. So will you join me in saying I'm committed to my relationship with myself, just like you're committed to marriage if you're married. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Trust your decision making. Like yourself truly. It's freeing for everyone. It's time for a change. So if you want increased confidence, increased clarity, right? Increased calm. Oh my gosh, doesn't that sound good? Peace, calm, and confidence. It's a choice. Or competence. It's a choice. And if you need help with that choice, reach out to me, chatwithjan.com. And I hope this has been helpful to you because I've shared it with you from the bottom of my heart. All right, so go have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.